Tonight on Sports Saturday, it's no Johnny, no problem for the Tide as they look to gig it to the Aggies. Would Texas A&M break Bama's heart? Or could the Tide get over the hill?
You know, I tried to answer that question before.
We have the full recap. Plus, madness reigns in the top 5 once again. Who's going down this week?
I really don't know.
So get cozy, because it's our kind of night. Don't worry, we brought the snacks. And we start right now.
University of Alabama. Live sports from Alabama's sports team. This is WVUA Sports.
Cooper, here's Sims. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Again. Touchdown, Alabama.
Wow is right, Vern. Blake Sims, one of 4 touchdowns he accounted for today in a huge win for the Tide over Texas A&M. And welcome in, everybody, to Sports Saturday. I'm BJ Millican alongside Jen Chapman. And Jen, it was a big day for the Crimson Tide in all facets of this game.
This was a total team effort on all sides of the ball. Offense putting up 59 points, the defense posting a shutout. And how about the special teams? It's like everything came together this week for the Tide.
Absolutely. And let's find out how it did come together. Guess who was on the sidelines today?
Hey, it looks like
A-Rod. Look at that. Alabama going for the grand slam early. Up 3-0 with TJ Yeldon. Shimmy shake. Oh, shimmy shake. 9 yards. Tied up 10-0.
And then Blake Sims saying, I can do that too. He gets it going with his legs. 43 yards on the highlight reel run.
Look at him go. He puts in that burst. Look at him.
Bama goes up 24-zip.
Hey, we're still in the second quarter, everybody. Sims is saying, hey, I can do it with my arm too. He finds who else? Amari Cooper, 24 yards, 38-0. Call the police because the Tide are doing bad things to the Ags.
Bama also had a guy named Derrick Henry. He could show off. He cuts through the A&M defense like butter. 2 touchdowns for King Henry today. 45-0 at this point.
It was ugly. The Tide just toying with the Aggies at this point, Jen. Sims finds his very favorite receiver. One guess I'm going to give you. Who is it?
Let me guess. Amari Cooper.
Oh, it's Amari Cooper with a nice stretch. 45 yards, offensive explosion, and a defensive clinic. Bama wins 59-0. Here's a tale of 2 coaches after the game.
They had all that money in that horse, all of it. They had to win the Triple Crown. They had all kinds of anxiety about what they were going to do, how they were going to run the race. Lady just finally said, just let them run. Won by 31 lengths. Sometimes you get people so tight and so tensed up and anxious that they don't play with the kind of personality that they're capable of. And I think our players have responded to it. And I think they're having more fun playing, which is really what we want them to do.
However you cut it, that performance was, unacceptable and embarrassing. And so, Alabama had a lot to do with that. Get back to work and look at and examine where we are right now and how we can get better.
And these stats really tell the story of the game. 30 first downs for the Tide, 602 total yards offense, 449 of those came in the first half. A great showing by QB Blake Sims, the offense looking like a unit today, and Amari Cooper keeps letting his numbers do the talking.
There you go. A couple of more guys who will do some more talking about this game. Sports director Gary Harris and Rodney Orr from TiderInsider.com. They have more on Bama's dismantling of Texas A&M.
Thanks, BJ. I am with Rodney Orr from Tider Insider TV and TiderInsider.com. And, Rodney, this is what makes football such a great game. You think you get a feel for a team, but then you come out today and you watch Alabama play on all cylinders, offensively, defensively, kicking game. They just dominate Texas A&M 59-0. First time ever a Kevin Sumlin team has been shut out.
Yeah, Gary, I think a lot of people with all the complaints last week about the 1-point win, I think that was really a huge win. I think it kind of set this game up, actually, and I think what a dominant performance. I don't even really know where to start. Alabama had 30 first downs. Texas A&M had 8, 602 total yards to 172. Alabama had 6 sacks. I mean, they're starting to really get after the quarterback. Last week against Arkansas, they had 4. I thought the defensive front set the tone in that way. The coverage was fantastic. Again, A&M only threw for 141 yards and, only had, 31 yards rushing. So, again, just a dominant performance. Blake Sims had 3 touchdown passes. What else can you say?
Well, you know, a lot of people are going to look at the 59 points, 45 at the half, and talk about the offense. But, again, I think the most impressive thing is shutting this team out. They've never been shut out under Kevin Sumlin. He's never been shut out anywhere as a head coach. And I guess now we can put this thing to rest about Kirby Smart and Nick Saban not being able to defend the spread.
Yeah, I mean, obviously what they did today, you know, getting the pressure on the quarterback, Kenny Hill, I thought they forced him. They affected him, Gary, made him make some errant throws. The defense was, I mean, great position and coverage. You know, Cyrus Jones, after the game, the starting corner for Alabama, talked about this week they had really worked hard on disguising their coverages, and they did a better job of that, and they just were in position to make plays.
Total team win. After surviving at Arkansas last week, Alabama dominant 59-0. Next week to Knoxville to play Tennessee. For Rodney Orr, I'm Gary Harris. BJ and Jen, back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, guys. Check out some of these game notes. Today's win was Alabama's largest ever against a ranked team. The 35 points in the second quarter, a school record. And TJ Yeldon continues to climb the school record ladder, I guess. He scores his 30th career touchdown, so not a lot going wrong today for the Crimson Tide.
And next up on the show, we'll continue our coverage of that game and get into some more highlights in the SEC. A big day for the Alabama defense when we return. Coach Saban and the players tell us how big they stepped it up today.
It was big time. Stay with us. Much more big time Sports Saturday with BJ and Jen coming up after the break. We'll be right back. We're back with a double dose of our play of the day. First up, Michigan State's Jeremy Langford goes all Heisman, stiff arm. Get out of the way. State wins big. Now batting second, it's going to be Ohio State, staying in the Big Ten. Watch Evan Barrett. Wow! One-handed grab, picked it out of the air. Watch him. Whew, that's nice. The Buckeyes wreck Rutgers. Scores on both games, ironically, 56-17 on both. High-scoring offenses, the name of the game today. That was evident in this very building as well.
But it was very one-sided. Alabama was the team doing all the scoring, something Kevin Sumlin isn't very familiar with.
He is not. The Aggies came in leading the SEC in scoring offense. Those numbers definitely going to go down today dramatically. Alabama harassed Kenny Hill all day long. He never really had much time to throw the football.
The 6 sacks recorded by the defense, the most since the 2011 Capital One Bowl game against Michigan State. Coach Saban said the performance of the defensive line was key.
This is the best we played against this kind of offense. Had to make some adjustments in the game, but the players did a really good job, and we affected the quarterback with 4 guys rushing. And I think that was the real key to the game. You know, the secondary did a good job of disguising, better than we ever have before when we played these guys.
Just try to confuse the quarterback as much as possible, and play sound football and fly to the ball, like we said. I mean, a couple of days before, just fly to the ball.
Everybody had the mindset just to run around, especially during practice. Everybody was running to the ball like they was today, and everybody was getting to the ball, being tough, physical, and played Alabama football.
And check out some of these stats. The first time a Kevin Sumlin team has been shut out in his 7 years as a head coach. Also the lowest ever total offensive output in his year as the head man. A&M hasn't been shut out since 2003 when Dennis Franchione was the head coach.
And you know what the score of that game was?
What was it?
77-0.
Oh.
People around here remember that game very well.
That's worse than today.
They had a good time with that one.
Well, Ole Miss is known for their defense, and they were trying to avoid a letdown against Tennessee.
That's who Bama has next week in Knoxville. The Vols were hoping there would be a letdown in Oxford today, so let's head to the Grove and do a little hotty-toddy. A fun place to be these days, especially if you answer to the moniker Dr. Bo. Wallace, Ph.D., going to find his colleague Vince Sanders for the 39-yard score. Touchdown, Rebs, hotty-toddy. They keep toddying. Jalen Walton's going to walk into the end zone. Rebs win big, 34-3.
While over to Arkansas, still looking for their first SEC win under Brett Bielema. Today taking on number 10 Georgia at home. Second quarter, Bulldogs leading 10-6. Nick Chubb's on the carry. He takes this one 43 yards. Georgia putting up 31 points in the second quarter. An Arkansas turnover led to another Chubb score. This one from 3 yards out. He had 202 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day.
That kid's good.
Bulldogs led by as much as 32. And they won 45-32.
That's rough. Here's some other scores around the league. South Carolina, they took Furman out in a very big way, 41-10. LSU blows Kentucky out of the water, 41-3. And look at Missouri. Florida is melting down lately. They get blown out by Missouri in the swamp.
It's hard to believe, but we are just 10 days away from the College Football Playoff Selection Committee's first poll of the year.
10 days, and now is the time to try to impress those guys. Baylor's trying to do just that against the West Virginia Mountaineers, Alabama's very first opponent this year. The Bears, ranked 4th in the country, they led by 6, but here comes Dreamius Smith. Dreamius.
Love that name.
He goes in from 9 yards out. Good night, sweet Dreamius. Later, the 4th, tied at 27, Clint Trick and Kevin White, the one-handed grab. What? One-handed, West Virginia going crazy, burning couches, singing John Denver. They upset the Bears 41-7.
Hey, how about some drama for 14th ranked Kansas State and 10th ranked Oklahoma? The Sooners coming up big in the 4th quarter with a 9-yard touchdown reception by Duron Neal, but it wouldn't be an automatic tie. Extra point denied. Sooners
kickers
down 1 and put together a 68-yard drive that ends in a missed field goal.
Oh, no.
And the Wildcats escape Norman with the win. Heartbreaker.
Big game, Bob. Not so big today. Here we go. Let's look at some national scores from around the country. Check out that scoreboard coming up. Boston College loses to Clemson. Oregon all over Washington, and FSU hanging on at Notre Dame. That game's got about 6 minutes to go. TCU all over Oklahoma State. Nebraska 38-17. Amir Abdullah 4 touchdowns for the Homewood, Alabama native. Hey, we're coming back with some more Sports Saturday, some local games, so stick around. We'll be right back.
Sports Saturday, check out Reggie Ragland. He's got something on his mitts because that ball did not move. Interception, Bama. A big day all around for the Tide's defense and a great play from the junior from Madison. A rivalry game next week as Bama heads to Tennessee for the 3rd Saturday in October.
But you know what? The good news is we don't have to wait for rivalry games because we've got one today.
Right now.
Tuskegee taking on Stillman. Stillman, the Tigers are looking to take a step up in that SIAC race. They need to stop Hodrick
Lowe.
Hodrick Lowe. Oh, I knew I'd mess that up.
He's good to go.
He's good. Touchdown Tuskegee. Later, though, Stillman trying to hang in there. Josh Strong is going to try to find a receiver, rather. He can't find one, but look, he says, you know what? That's okay because I'm going to score like this. Touchdown. But unfortunately, stocks are down for Stillman. They could not stop Hodrick Lowe, and I can't even say it, but look at him go. Touchdown. Tuskegee wins huge, 61-19. Let's take a look at that local scoreboard. UAB falls. Troy falls. Oh, boy, it's a bad day. South Alabama did win. Sanford falls, and Faulkner gets a win over Cumberland. Here we go. Jen, you experienced your first Alabama game quickly. What did you think today?
Awesome. 59-0 win. It was totally great.
You're the good luck charm. That's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us on Sports Saturday. Good night, everybody.